Welcome back to Campfire Cooking in Another World with my absurd skill. Anime review, episode number 7. We're here reviewing episode 14 of the series, known as I Will Process the Earth Dragon. Well, basically, Makoto and his group basically arrive at the town that they were told to go to, a dungeon town, which of course he's riding in the back of Fell, with, of course, basically Dora-chan on his back and Sui in his bag. And they arrive at the gate. Long line. Now, not the first time I've seen this in the anime where you have characters to enter a city and there's a long line. This has happened in several fantasy anime I come across. Yeah, I can probably list several of them, like that time Crisis line this happened with. This is very common. So, and of course, everyone gets so nervous because Fel is a legendary creature with a dragon, and then they have these two guards just walk up to them. It's like, they're like, "Oh, nothing shady. Here's my adventure card." Like, okay, and then the guild master himself comes out, which I mentioned last episode. This guy is an elf. Yep. So this is Elrad. Yep. And he apparently is obsessed with dragons. So sees Dora-chan is like, ooh, a baby dragon, and apparently, like, then of course, like, oh yeah, we talk about the Earth Dragon. Of course, they chat for a while in his office, where apparently the stuff we've heard about pixie dragons is completely inaccurate. You think, oh, they drink this tea that he prepared, or sit on this tree? Nope, completely inaccurate. They sit wherever they please. They're very picky eaters. And also the fact that Makoto can speak to him telepathically. Yep. So then they show up like, oh, you stored someplace in the cart? No, we actually have an item box. So he pulls out the dragon. Yep. Which has been there since the end of the previous season of the show. Which, by the way, the last season aired for this show 2 years ago. Which I watched this show just this year. Purely because I was very interested in how interesting of a concept this is. And plus also the most obvious, I think I heard something that for this show, I think it was Reborn as a Vending Machine. I think it was where the main character of that show, before he got reincarnated, I read that he looked like the main character of this one. He looked like Makoto somehow. Maybe similar character design, who knows. And so he's like obsessed with everything, and then later on to show that, we had everybody just relaxing. Elrad asks a bunch of questions. And he appears in a special meat dish, which has a little bit of meat with lots of vegetables, but basically the grease the meat goes into the vegetables, which they love. And of course they have a bunch of sweets, which of course they stay up all night. And then they get to guild. And by the way, when they get there, they meet the deputy master. Like, oh yeah, there's also a meeting with the merchants, but he has to postpone that due to the fact there's an Earth Dragon there. So after writing up all the stuff related to Earth Dragon, now he wants to process it, and he has the strongest method he has in the guild, and it breaks. And also the fact we're also introduced to two of the gods. We introduced to two male gods here. Yes, we're introduced to Hephaestus, the god of blacksmithing, and Demiurge. Next, not Demiurge. Vogan. You're thinking, Hephaestus? That name sounds familiar. Well, because I think this character might be a loose adaptation of the famous blacksmith from Greek mythology. Because he virtually does the same thing and makes weapons. As a matter of fact, he's famous in DC lore for creating the God Killer sword that Deathstroke Terminator uses. Blessing, all this their offering, because I mentioned last episode, I forgot. And then the next day, then they have, we might have the mithril stuff. And because of the fact that Sui can make a mithril, basically has the blacksmithing skill, so then he processes the thing to a very mithril knight plus, and Fel really wants to go down just badly, so yeah, we're going to probably test that next episode. Well, it's a great episode overall, and can't wait for next week. I think I read that this saw on my app, basically, which I keep record of all the shows I watch, where I think this has been confirmed for 12 episodes. So we have 10 left to go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Yep. So yeah, that's basically it to give you. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next, we have a comic corner, and I'm probably going to call it a night because it's getting kind of late right now. Because I have to get up earlier than the last couple of days because when I have to go to work at 7 o'clock, I have to be at work tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Next video for Comic Corner. Bye.